from the News Channel 5 network and the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. This is State of the Workforce.
And welcome to State of the Workforce. I'm Chris Cannon. There are so many facets to the state of Tennessee's workforce, and the Department of Labor and Workforce Development plays a role in all of them. Finding Tennesseans meaningful employment, we do that. Helping them upskill to find better employment, we can make that happen. And keeping everyone safe while they're at work, it doesn't get much more important than that. We do have a lot to talk about. YEP is Tennessee's youth employment program, and it launched in the spring, and the numbers show it was a success. We'll take a look at those numbers in just a few minutes. Then we'll head west down I-40 to see the new TCAT at Stanton that will help build Blue Oval City's workforce. And then there's a new pathway to earn a high school equivalency diploma in Tennessee, and it is a game changer for adult learners. Look for that a little later in the show. But first, this week's Workforce Focus. And we are focused on a workforce reimagined, and Commissioner Deniece Thomas joins us now. And Commissioner, you took over this role nearly 2 years ago, and when you came into that role, what was your vision for not only the department but workforce development in Tennessee?
So Chris, first and foremost, it was to make sure that Tennessee had a competitive workforce, that we can maintain our competitive edge with the rest of the states across the nation. And secondly, to make sure that Tennesseans that were not participating in the workforce had an opportunity to do so. And so making workforce reimagined simply meant breaking it down in the simplest of terms so folks understood where the programs were, where the services were, and how to connect with our agency.
The way people work, just in general, has changed so dramatically since COVID, but really just the last 5 or 6 years. How has the state had to change its approach to the way we get people to work?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I mean, workforce development since my career has evolved, but never a bigger evolution than post-COVID. And so the way people want to work, the way they want to manage work-life balance, all has changed significantly. So as a department, we also had to pivot to make sure that we can meet these changing expectations. And part of that was reimagining the way we do business. It was not a wait-and-see approach that the department had typically taken in the past. It was more of a really meeting Tennesseans where they were and where they hoped to be.
Now, we always hear a lot every month about the unemployment rate, and that's a good barometer of how things are going and how the economy and the workforce is in Tennessee. But the labor force participation rate is a number we see, but a lot of people don't know about it. And tell me why that number is so important.
Well, the short of it is that number represents our labor availability percentage, right? And so even with low unemployment rates, you still want to pay attention to how many folks are actively participating in the workforce. That's your bench. So when employers are looking for that next workforce, that's the number you really want to pay attention to, because that is your available labor pool by which you will draw from and hopefully become the employer of choice.
Now, Tennessee, it rebounded very quickly economically after COVID, but one thing that didn't rebound was the labor force participation rate. It's lower than it was in 2020, and that's baffling to some people, and I know it's something that troubles you.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I hear it a lot. It's like, why is our labor force participation still lagging behind the national average? The short of it is that we found individuals coming out of COVID really started to reflect on what they had done for a living, and a lot of folks didn't like it. Like, it was an opportunity to really think about, what do I want to do next? What is my next? And so some folks disengaged from the workforce until they really found out what they wanted to do next. And so we're starting to see ebbs and flows. It cycles up and then it sort of backs off a little bit. So the number is very fluid, and there are a lot of characteristics underneath without getting into the specifics of the number. But overall, I think Tennessee is on a path that we can certainly rebound and exceed our previous labor force participation numbers, but it's going to take a lot of sort of reimagination to make that happen.
And do you have a goal of what you want that number to be?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, we want to exceed the national average. I think Tennessee needs to be somewhere around 63% to do that. But ultimately, we want to have the highest labor force participation in the Southeast. That's our starting goal, and ultimately across the nation.
And then you just keep working at it and finding new ways to get people off the bench.
We keep working at it because here's the thing, when you raise labor force participation, you want to keep it at a healthy level. And so again, we've been ebbing and flowing a little bit. We'll raise it and then it'll kind of drop again. So it's important for us to not just get individuals in the labor force, but keep them there. And a lot of that is a lot of science, and then sometimes the pendulum just swings in our way with good luck.
Now, a project that is going to need a lot of labor force is the building of the new Nissan Stadium in Nashville. It is going to take thousands of workers over the next 3 years to do that.
Certainly daunting when we think about all the other industry sectors that need a workforce as well, but it's certainly achievable. We're excited about this project because, one, it opens up an opportunity for the trades, right? It puts a focus back on trades here in Nashville. Secondly, to be attached to a project such as the building of the Nissan Stadium, which is a legacy project, right? And so by the nature of the work, it's attractive to a lot of individuals that want to do it. But it's a lot of workers, 1,800 people to build a stadium. It is daunting, but I think we have a plan in place that can certainly get us there.
And you're taking it right to the stadium site itself there. Tell me about that partnership that you have with the Builders Alliance and the Titans to help find that workforce.
Yeah, it's an incredible partnership. And, you know, with the Builders Alliance, you know, there is a coming together of all the builders and subcontractors, which makes it a little easier for us. So as opposed to having to identify every single company, we can really work with this shared alliance on getting a workforce. And so we're right there on site, which is so incredible because we have the opportunity to assess individuals, get them into some very quick training and get them right sized. And so the immediacy of the work is absolutely there because of that co-location. And we're excited about partnering with the Titans and the Builders Alliance.
And of course, workforce is a big part of what the department does, but workforce safety is also a part. And Tennessee OSHA is taking a proactive approach with the stadium project that they haven't taken before. Kind of go over why that's so important and what it can really mean in the long run.
Yeah, so on the safety side of the house, you know, it can be a little bit challenging to see us coming, right? Because people think about the regulatory side of labor. But this is really a proactive approach to say, when you have that many workers working on such a large project, it's important to be preventative, right? And so we're going in and actually assessing what are those high risk factors for injury and mitigating those on the front end. And so it really creates a relationship, a partnership, and a culture of safety. And when you can get your safety culture right, that really helps you on the recruitment side of the house. So this is a first for our Tennessee OSHA. Typically they're known for, you know, finding a hazard or writing a penalty. Well, that's not the case. We want to partner on the front end, and this is a marvelous example of doing that work.
And growing the workforce, it has to start young most of the time. And Tennessee launched just this past spring, Tennessee's Youth Employment Program, and it really was successful. We have some numbers for folks to take a look at, and it's meeting goals and all that. Up to 4,100 participants already under the ages of 14 to 24, and 1,200 employers taking part in the program. Why are you such a big advocate for this program?
Well, first, you know, I myself was a part of a program similar growing up, and I know what it means when you can get youth engaged in work early. The earlier you can get them engaged in getting the critical skills they need, learning the work behaviors that are positive, the better it's going to be for everyone. And so I was so excited about YEP. And mind you, this was just supposed to be a demonstration project to kind of see what it would yield in Tennessee. And the outcomes have been incredible. And we hope this becomes a fabric of workforce in many years to come.
And it's a year-round program, so it's not just a summer youth program. What do you hope these young Tennesseans take away when they're done with their time with the program?
Well, first, I hope they are proud of themselves, right? They've actually showed up on time, they've got to work, and they've gotten a paycheck. And there's nothing better than, you know, honest work and honest wages. And secondly, I hope they've taken away skills, not just the hard technical side of it, but also some of the behaviors that we know are critical for workforce, you know, problem solving, showing up on time, being respectful. And so I hope that all of that begins to cultivate them as they decide what their next will be. And so we hope YEP, again, is a part of what we do in Workforce for Tennessee. And I think we have a lot of young people that we can certainly be proud of, and employers are pleased, and that's all we want.
And it's a way to help both people, and the state takes care of everything, and our local workforce partners. So it's a win-win situation, really. The employers are getting free labor, and the participants are getting that work experience that's so valuable. Yeah,
we hope to mitigate the administrative burden on employers, right? We know there are tons of employers that want to hire young people, but really concerned about what does it take, you know, what all goes into that program. And so it was important for us to design a program that did not place a burden on employers, but created a bevy of opportunities for our young people. And YEP is just one demonstration of that, and we hope there's more to come.
All right, Commissioner, well, we have much more to come here as well. When we come back on State of the Workforce, we'll head west on I-40 to check out the new Tennessee College of Applied Technology in Stanton. Learn why it will have such a tremendous impact on all of West Tennessee. And welcome back to State of the Workforce. We are talking with Commissioner Deniece Thomas. And Commissioner, just recently you started the Office of Transformation at the department. Why did you think that was a move that would not only benefit the department, but the department's customers?
Well, you know, for our department, there's so many facets, so many different areas of service. And so it's important to have an Office of Transformation to really align all of our programs and services so that we're putting out a complete package to the Tennessee public, some that most folks may be unaware of. And so this actually allows us to really focus on continuous improvement and being able to meet, as we talked about earlier, the growing needs of Tennesseans.
And even though it's an internal department and office, it's really going to have that public-facing impact probably.
Absolutely. I think you'll see evidence of how we are aligning our services and the needs of Tennesseans, and it'll be demonstrative in how we deliver services, not just from our American Job Centers, but throughout the entire department. It was important for us to first come together and streamline services for individuals and employers.
Back in June, you went to the grand opening of the TCAT in Stanton in Haywood County in West Tennessee, and that is an impressive facility.
It's a remarkable facility. You know, you walk in and you see state-of-the-art equipment, you see evidence of industry partnerships all around, and more importantly, you're seeing these students that will have an incredible opportunity to really change their workforce trajectory. It is an amazing site, and what I'm so thrilled about is we're actually there. There's a job center there inside the Stanton facility, which makes it an incredible opportunity for all of Tennesseans.
Now, why is it so important for the TCATs to partner with the Department of Labor and Workforce Development to put those services of an American Job Center right at the hands and feet of the folks who are in that building?
Well, Tennessee has a lot to be proud of. You know, with the governor's investments, you know, it's almost cost effective or no cost for individuals to go and get that vocational training that they need. But there are other things that are needed to be a completer, such as books or transportation. And our folks can provide those services to Tennesseans so they don't just start, but they complete. And that's the goal. So when we pair services together, it's easier for Tennesseans to access them.
And that's just one of the partnerships that the department has started over the last 12 months, and others with MDHA in Nashville and in their communities. And that's a really interesting partnership because that is really taking the services to people who otherwise might not know about them or ever use them.
Yeah, so we talk about labor force participation. Our data tells us where we have individuals participating the most and the least. So for us, we have to go into those communities down to the zip code where individuals are not participating and provide services there in community. We know, our data tells us, every time we refer someone across town, the chances of them arriving and being successful diminishes considerably. So for us, being able to serve in community brings a level of fidelity, and it brings a level of hope for individuals that really need it.
Well, what's that look like? I mean, it's not like you're setting up a brick and mortar store, AJC, you're just there and being available.
Absolutely, we're there, and it's important that these residents are already in place. There's a place that they come to for other services, so we're right there. So being able to see us in community, again, it adds a level of credibility that we're serious about helping all Tennesseans be able to get to a certain measure of success. And so I think that's what's so important about these relationships. And the MDHA partnership is just one of what we hope are many across the state.
Now, last summer you traveled to Chattanooga State Community College and met with the president there and had a great meeting. A partnership even came out of that, and it's similar to the one with MDHA. Yeah. And why do you think it's important on the college level?
Well, you know, what was incredible was meeting President Ashford. It was just a conversation about students having a need. And what really birthed out of that almost immediately was, why don't we just do it together? And I think with what I shared before, it means something to be there to meet all the needs that a student may have, or even needs that they don't know they may have. And so being there at the front end helps to build out their pathway with the level of resources that there's an expectation that whatever that they may need along their path to completion, we're actually there on site, on campus, and that makes a huge difference.
And heading back west to Haywood County and Louisville City, one of the biggest, if not the biggest construction project in state history, that's a lot of workers over there that they need. And how do you, it's been a learning process for the state, right? Because no one's ever tackled something like this here before, really anywhere. Yeah.
It's, I tell you, we talk about staying up at night. That one keeps me up at night, not because I don't think we can't meet it. I think Tennessee can certainly rise to the challenge, but that's almost 6,000 workers, and that's just the facility. We're not talking about suppliers or all the other things that will come. And so it's important to make sure that for Ford and for SK, that those companies can rely on us to produce the workforce that they need. And so, we have services in place that we think will be able to do that. But more importantly, it's about getting the word out and helping everyone understand what is the path into Blue Oval. What does that look like? There's been so much fanfare around the project. We want to make sure that we can peel it back and help individuals understand here's an opportunity to really generate life-changing wages, and here's how you do it and go about getting the training you need to access it.
And it's early. It's preparing folks now for the jobs that'll be in a year or two so they can go right to work when they're done with their training.
Absolutely. We can't wait. For numbers of that magnitude, we have to start early. It's critical that they have the opportunity to get the training before being considered for employment. And so when we get projects of that size, we actually back out sometimes a year, 2 years out, to really start building out a pathway for training, for development, for learning, et cetera. And so we're excited about that project.
And one of those pathways is a very popular one right now, and it's apprenticeships, registered apprenticeship programs in Tennessee. They've really taken off in this state, and they're really a win-win too, because it's a learn while you earn model that people are really catching on to.
Yeah, what was really interesting is that during the pandemic, we saw a lot of things slow down. Apprenticeship TN was not one of those. We saw record numbers of apprenticeship growth during that time, and we have the highest number of apprentices we've ever had in our state history. And I think it's just what you said. Individuals have an opportunity to learn, but it's work-based, so I can earn while I'm learning. And so I'm an employee day one, I get benefits day one. That's a huge draw for a lot of folks that are really considering how to get acclimated into the workforce. And
it's those trades that are so important. Generations are retiring, and the folks aren't there to take up those jobs, and we need them there. And you can make good money and no school debt, no student loans, any of that.
Yeah, with workforce, we hope we've shared this message very clearly, is that there are multiple avenues and pathways to success in Tennessee. It doesn't all have to be the traditional four-year path in college. And so vocational trades offer an opportunity for apprenticeship and incredible earning potential, and we hope that apprenticeship highlights just one aspect of that.
Commissioner Thomas, thank you very much for being the first guest on State of the Workforce.
Thank you, Chris.
Still ahead on State of the Workforce, a game changer for adult education in Tennessee. We'll tell you about the new pathways to a diploma next. For years, if you didn't finish high school, you had to get your GED. Now, you might not know this, but GED is just a brand name for a high school equivalency test. And for the last handful of years, Tennessee has only had the HiSET exam, another brand of test, but that has all changed. Jay Baker is the Assistant Commissioner for Tennessee's Adult Education Division. And Jay, there is a new pathway to a diploma, and we'll talk about that in a second. But for folks who really don't know what adult education is in Tennessee, tell me about that program.
Sure, Chris. So Tennessee Adult Education is the public education program for folks who didn't go the traditional route, folks who dropped out of high school, the immigrant population who comes here and wants to get an education, basically anybody who needs to upskill their math, reading, writing, their English language, or some employability skills to get ready for work, or work on their computer skills or digital skills. We basically do it all for those folks. And so we have programs all across the state of Tennessee where folks can sign up and take these classes.
Up until now, though, it was that HiSET exam, all or nothing. You take your classes, you learn the courses, and you take that HiSET exam, and if you don't do well on that, you don't do well. That's changed, though, just recently.
Yeah, that's right, and that's probably one of the biggest things we're known for is high school equivalency preparation, helping folks get that diploma. And as you've said, for years, it has been just the HiSET exam to get that diploma, and prior to that, just the GED exam. Well, very recently, we've launched multiple pathways to getting this high school equivalency diploma. So folks can now take either GED or HiSET, or a few new assessments that we have, like TABE, COSIS Goals, and ACT Work Keys. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to this. Through these different options, if someone can pass math, reading, writing, science, and social studies, they get their diploma, and they're off to bigger and better things.
And it's not as if the tests are easier or you don't have to be as hard as the other one. They're just different ways of doing tests. So some people test differently and do better on certain types of tests than others. And this just gives everybody an option now. Is that right?
That's right. Ultimately, we're trying to give people more options, something that fits better for them and the timing and pacing that they want to go through. Look, Chris, we have 500,000 Tennesseans, 500,000 that do not have a high school diploma, who are adult aged. And these are folks who are being stopped from advancing to further training or education or getting a really good job that requires that diploma. And so we have already seen hundreds of folks take advantage of these multiple options and get on their way to better training, better employment. So we're very excited about the results we're already seeing from Tennesseans who are who are in it to win it.
And that's what I always say too. Adult education is workforce development, because it's not as if the 500,000 people who don't have their high school diploma don't have jobs. They do have jobs, but they could have much better jobs, higher paying jobs, and that diploma is the key to that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We see a lot of folks who are underskilled and underemployed as a result of lack of education. And as you say that, there's another group of folks we work with is employers. Employers who have a workforce that maybe they don't have quite the skills to be successful as they could be to get a promotion or to even keep good work because they're struggling so much on the job. And so those folks who don't have a diploma or they need to learn English or improve their math skills, our program is there to help them as well.
Tell me a little bit about who can take this New Pathways. Is it open to anybody who's looking to learn, and they're doing the same classes, it's just the testing at the end's the different part?
Yeah, look, if you don't have a diploma and you're an adult in Tennessee, this program is for you. And so our programs are all across the state in every single county. And so now's the time to act. I mean, we've made it faster than ever before with these options. And so just you can check us out at our website, tnworkready.com. Find that program near you and sign up and take that exam, get your diploma.
And you could do it on your own pace and at no cost, right?
That's exactly right. No cost. You sign up for one of our local programs. You can qualify for our vouchers that covers the cost, so it is completely free.
And we're starting a new outreach campaign to tell everybody about that, and that'll be starting in just a few days. So you'll learn more about the New Pathways to a Diploma here in Tennessee. Jay, thank you very much for explaining all that, and we hope it is a successful program.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, and we hope this has been a successful program, because that is the first edition of Tennessee's State of the Workforce. You can learn more about the topics we focused on during this episode at tnworkready.com. And of course, you can find the department on all the social media channels. Thanks for watching this first episode. We hope to see you back here real soon.